Hello and welcome everybody into some Tuesday night racing action here with the HCKBRL Racing League as they head on home to the home of NASCAR here at Charlotte tonight under the lights. 140 laps is what's going to separate these drivers from victory and defeat. We're also getting into the first round of these playoffs, so who's the 10 drivers that are in and who is sadly sent home packing? Well, just gonna have to wait and find on out as we send it on down for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back. As always, we have to say a huge thank you to the race sponsors, like tonight's race sponsor of Hansley Motorsports. Thank you, Andrew, and all the other people associated with Hansley Motorsports for sponsoring tonight's race. Of course, we also have to say a huge thank you to Abruzzi Racewear jumping on board here for the entire season. Go ahead, check them on out for all your race apparel needs, whether it's for real life racing or just sim stuff. You know, you still maybe want some shoes, maybe some gloves, maybe not a helmet, but hey, you know what? We've seen it before, and can't say it will help you, but you'll at least feel safe. So be sure to head on down there to Abruzzi Racewear and get yourself some gear here today. Of course, TrackDogsRacing.com, the official merchandising provider of the HCKBRL Racing League and AAA Broadcasting. Be sure to go and get your merchandise here today for all your casual wear. Of course, you have to also thank Chiefland RC Raceway down there in Florida. Be sure to go check them on out if you're into the RC race cars and that kind of stuff, or maybe if you just like it and haven't really got into it quite yet. Be sure to go check them on out and visit ChieflandRCRaceway.com to see what's going on down there. I think they recently they were asking for a special clay dirt because they're looking for that special mix and getting everything all locked and loaded. So thank you to Chiefland RC Raceway. Sonic Graphic Design as well. Be sure to go check them on out for some customized paint schemes. Every time we see a new one pop out on one of these trucks, man, it's looking good. So be sure to head on over to Sonic Graphic Design and get yourself a fantastic paint scheme here today. And of course, last but not least, AdminBoxx, a premier button box solution for race control admins, where at the push of a button they can do black flags, wave arounds, yellow flags, whatever a race controller admin needs to do, all at the reach of their fingers. So be sure to go ahead and get yourself an AdminBoxx here today. And with that, as always, I'm Alan Brown, and I totally forgot to do the import our cameras here. So And that's on me. I had to visit the porcelain throne there for a minute. So either way, I'm Alan Brown, and I would like to apologize and remind people that the viewpoints of the commentators of their own accord and not of AAA Broadcasting, as I have no idea what was said last night. However, I am joined tonight by the brewmaster in general, Mr. Alan English, joining me here in the booth once again this evening. And Mr. English, we return to the home of NASCAR, and boy, oh boy, this one should be pretty good. It's the opener for their playoffs here tonight.
Yeah, it's the hub. That's what they call it, the hub of NASCAR. That's where everybody's garages are at, or at Charlotte. But yeah, man, round one of the playoffs here. They do have a knockout style playoff here at HCK, and this is the first race, and as it should be, it's here at Charlotte. So this mile and a half is not an easy place to get around. There's not a lot of room here. It takes a lot of skill to manage tire wear. So, man, it's going to be a great one. I can't wait to see how this shakes out and see who's going to go forward to the next round.
That indeed. Sorry, I was having a stroke there. I'm like, why isn't anyone else talking? It's because he's waiting for me to introduce him. It's Mr. Adam Turner, our anger management specialist down there on pit road. And here we go, Adam. It's getting down to crunch time where the anger starts to flow, the pressure starts to build, and these drivers, they're going to have to get it all locked and loaded in here tonight.
Yeah, they're going to have to, and thank you for my grand entry. I require that when I enter the stage, so to speak. So thank you for that nice compliment. Yes, I am the anger management specialist, and I think this is where we need to start seeing some people fight. We're at Charlotte. This is the home track. You can go out in the parking lot and just fight it out if you got some kind of problem, right? So
it's not like you have to drive far to get home, for these.
We can go to, Denny Hamlin's house. He probably lives in your neighborhood, and just go in there and just beat him down. Yeah. And then you guys have a couple beers in the pool and tell him how dumb he is. That's what I would do.
About assault, though, that's different.
No, it was just a mutual combat type of situation. I'm not trying to assault anybody. I'm just talking about an actual good old fisticuffs. Just like the old days. Charlotte's fun. The trucks are fun here. We're going to see some craziness in that quad. The front stretch there. The
quad oval. Yes.
Yeah, whatever they call it. I don't know.
That thing.
But it's super cool. I mean, it really tightens up on you there. A lot of fun. Here's the rules, though, Brown. This is where we get a little wacky, okay? 0 fast repairs. That's a problem. 75% fuel, 4 sets of tires, and there's going to be no DQs, nothing for incident points. Last I checked, it's a nice, cool evening. 80 on the track, so should be fine.
And that it should be, as we take a look here at tonight's race info. And oh boy, is it a beautiful night here in Charlotte. So no weather issues for these drivers here this evening. But tonight's key to the race, gotta watch out there for turn number 4, especially on the exit. I couldn't tell you how many cars have scraped that outside wall, and I'm sure we're gonna be able to see a couple here tonight as well.
Yeah, instant death if you come out of there and you're caught on the outside there and you're too close to the wall. That wall kicks to the left at like a 30-degree angle once you get close to that front stretch portion, where it actually straightens out. So
that's why it feels like it tightens up on you when it really doesn't. It's just you're making a harder left turn than you normally are, and it feels. And you're in traffic too. I love how they start this thing, Brown, here at Charlotte. How they're kind of, what do they call that? What kind of start is this?
Well,
all lined up there.
When lined up kind of like that, I would say a Le Mans style. Typically, you'd see the drivers up against that outside wall, and you'd shoot the gun or say go or something, and then they would run and jump into their cars and try to get all in and all loaded. And of course, you do your belts as you get going. You don't sit there and wait and do your belts. You gotta get going onto the track. But unfortunately, that's not how it goes here tonight. They're already in there, and they're gonna get started behind this pace car. So let's tell everybody where their favorite driver is starting here tonight with the 15 of Cody Staten. getting the pole position here this evening. He's going to have the 13 of Mark Beverly starting to his outside up there. 88 of Zachary Staten, so one of the other Staten brothers starting right behind is the other brother. Going to get things started off in third with the 51 of Joshua Moore starting here tonight in fourth. 42 of Kevin Winker gets things started off here in fifth, so Team America having pretty much everybody all up inside of that top 5 there. You got the 1 of Nate Cogdell with a great starting spot here tonight as well in sixth. In seventh will be the 4 of Eric Stoy with the 44 of Mr. David Wright starting to his outside there in eighth. Ninth will be the 64 of Cale Turbeville, and rounding out your field starting at top 10 will be the 39 of Mr. Joshua Freed.
Yeah, the 16 of Nick Gardner starting in 11th. Outside row number 6, Jesse Calloway in the 34. J.A. Burton in the 26 will start in 13th place. Andrew Hansley, tonight's race sponsor. Thank you so much, Andrew Hansley of Hansley Motorsports at the number 24. Frank Ranger will start in 15th place in that 17 machine. The 81 of Brian Torchia will start in 16th. 17th will be Jonathan Herbert, and the 69 Gregory Turner Little Rimmer starting in 18th place.
And there you have it. That is your field here for this evening as we all get locked and loaded. The drivers start to try to warm up those tires and get ready to go. Lights on the pace car are off, and we're getting ready to get off and running. As always, we appreciate everyone out there in the YouTube chat. Keep those chats on coming, and we look forward to seeing you guys here race in and race out. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you get alerted every single time that we go live.
I forgot to do the thumbs up thing.
I think they extended it, Brown. I think that's
that's
so
right.
yeah,
that's right. We got to do that too.
Yeah,
totally.
We'll talk to him.
Yeah, we'll talk to him. We'll talk to the AdminBoxx Pole Award winner, the 15 of Cody Staten, picking up that pole position here. And man, it's gonna be a pretty good start to these playoffs here tonight, Cody. A great race here at Charlotte, and you got yourself in one of the best seats in the house.
Fortunately, I'm not actually in the playoffs, but the rest of my team is. But I'm just as surprised as anybody to be up here.
Well, good luck. Well, good luck out there tonight. I know Bruce Muehlberger, proud of you guys as a team with his Muehlberger Custom Homes sponsorship on y'all's trucks out there. And good luck out there tonight, man. It's been fun watching you all season.
Yeah, Bruce is actually in our chat hanging out, listening to us, getting his money's worth. So glad he's here with us, showing us some love and some support. So hopefully one of us can bring it home for him.
Real quick, does he ever just yell at you for doing something stupid? He's got his name all over your cars.
Like, you idiot!
He hasn't yet, but I kind of hope he starts doing that.
That'd be fun.
He usually keeps his mic muted when he's in here, but he should start doing that. I know he's listening, so maybe he will tonight.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Thanks, guys.
Can you imagine Bruce going, "Yeah, jackass, what were you thinking?"
Oh man, that'd be
fun.
That would be absolutely fantastic. Oh, they could have let that one go.
Cody's got some crazy fans back there in the background.
I guess so.
That's always a lot of fun.
He extended it another lap.
What is going on?
I guess it was an accident. I don't know.
Whatever.
Oh,
We're cutting
we
it a
can
little
talk
close,
for like
but it's
we can talk for a whole nother lap, about how cool it is here at Charlotte.
We can talk about the folks over there.
Yeah, do that.
Errol Hansley out there saying, "Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hammer down, number 24, our race sponsor here tonight." Of course, Bruce Muehlberger out there saying, "Good evening, everyone." Earl Evans saying, "Don't forget to thank the best broadcast team in the business." Thank you, sir. We sure appreciate you, buddy.
That's nice.
Let's see. He's also reminding people to hit like and subscribe. Thank you, buddy. We sure appreciate it. Tell Adam I may need some anger management classes from him soon.
They are he's going to get a discount from me.
It's hard to get in.
Well, he'll get a discount.
I haven't been able to get into one yet.
I've had to raise the rates due to the economic situation in the United States, but I think I can make an exemption for him. What else you got?
He can get the sponsor discount. unleashing his inner Florida man here tonight. Let's go number 13. Bruce pulling for Team America, of course. And then Andrew saying iRacing just crashed, hopefully just temporarily. He's trying to get back in the race, I think. Matt Bunjo pulling for Josh Freed and Stealth Motorsports out there on the track tonight. Green flag in the air.
Indeed, as we go green flag racing for the first time here tonight at Charlotte with the 15 and the 13, getting things started side by side, sending it off down across the line into turns 1 and 2. Everything staying all nice and tidy and tight up here all throughout this field as this group gets on down to the backstretch. The first few laps, it's gonna almost feel kind of like a plate track here. It's once when those tires where we're gonna maybe start to see a little bit of separation, but the 13 and Mark Beverly able to jump on out in front from that top side, take control of that bottom lane. But here comes that 51 of Joshua Moore up on that high side, getting the run as they come back down across the line, completing the first lap here tonight. Still racing side by side though for that lead. You also got the one Nate Cogdell just kind of waiting in the wings there right behind him, just trying to get whatever run that he can to get his playoffs all started off strong here tonight, trying to get that run. Almost seeing some people get a little loosey-goosey coming off of 4 already and hitting that outside wall, but thankfully nobody has done so quite yet. 51 more now getting kind of free out there and able to jump out in front and take control of this race. You still got some side-by-side here for Eric Stoy going side-by-side with, looks like the 42 of Kevin Winker. He's trying to follow that 15 of Cody Staten down around on that bottom side. Still got some good racing going on behind them as well. You got Nick Gardner, Jesse Calloway, Cale Turbeville all in a group. Of course, Cale Turbeville trying to pick up the championship win here at the end of this season as well.
Nate Cogdell just took the lead. I don't think he is in the playoffs, not according to his banner.
He is. He may have just forgotten to put the banner on.
Oh, well, see, he ruined it for us. But look, he's really burning up his tires right now. Do you think that's going to come into play?
Well, it's totally possible. I mean, it's a long race, so we'll just have to,
yeah, we'll have to watch.
We'll have to wait and watch.
That was a little
premature
guess, right? Hypotheses. I'm sorry. I stunned everyone with my craziness.
That is a medical condition.
Yeah, I think I guess so. Oh well, I mean, I didn't. Yeah. Anyway, Moore and Cocktail up front. Good racing all throughout this thing so far.
I still got Staten and Beverly going side by side. Beverly coming into this championship run has the official points lead. I'll run through the list here in a little bit and tell everybody, how their drivers are kind of faring and who made it in and who didn't make the cut. Meanwhile, you got the 16 and the 34 going side by side. The Celsius Oasis machine trying to make his way on up here.
Well, the thing is, when you go to a playoff format, we've seen this with a lot of leagues. A lot of guys, when the playoffs start, if they're not in the playoffs, they'll just duck out and they'll not even race. So that is probably most of the reason why you see such a low truck count out here tonight. 16 drivers out there running.
Well, that's kind of rude.
Well, I mean,
why not spoil somebody's championship run? Why not wreck them? Why not show up and hurt somebody's feelings? I mean, that's what needs to happen. Well, be mad you didn't make the playoffs and destroy somebody that did. Right?
Sure. I don't know. We see this with a lot of leagues. So if you're tuning in tonight, wondering how come we don't have 30 trucks out there, that's why. Started the playoffs, and a lot of people elected to stay home.
Well, I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
We should hunt down all the people that didn't participate.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully they're at least watching on the YouTube channel.
I hope so. At least interact with us. Let's argue. We'd rather had you here, putting some laps in. This is a fun track. I mean, we still have enough cars to make a good race. Don't kid yourself. I mean, it's not like we have 10 cars. We have,
That's true.
Up almost to 20. 20 cars here is really, it makes for a good run.
Just over a dozen.
Yeah. I don't know. Good stuff, though. So far, no crashes, man.
No crashes. Everyone kind of maintaining their composure here, getting things all locked in. Again, we're only on the first stint on these tires, and even though they warp into the pavement just a little bit, they still have to watch out for that tire wear, and of course, still have to watch out for that outside wall coming out of turn number 4. It's really later on in the run. Again, here early on in the run, these guys can basically stay pretty much flat out around this track. It's once when we get down to about like lap 20 or so, you're gonna start maybe seeing these guys push up a little bit.
I wish iRacing would fix that, because the left front on these trucks is sunk into the asphalt all the way to the rim almost.
Yeah.
Why can't they get the graphics part of it figured out?
Andrew Hansley's having some problems with his computer machine. Connected, disconnected. I don't know if he's got loaded back in or not.
Yeah, he's trying to connect, but he's
Isn't this his race? The Hansley won the Hansley 210.
yeah,
Hansley Motorsports
I'm not
210.
good at numbers. But,
I'm not either, but you know what I am good at? Don't, it's a bad week to be a chef or a former president. Don't ever become a chef or a president, because you may end up unalive. It happens very often if you look at the history books. Yes. I think those guys just know too much. That's part of the problem.
I mean, are most of these guys, what party president did they work for?
Well, I mean, the last one before this one worked for both parties, which is the unit party, which is, believe it or not, there's only one party. It's Democrat and Republican. They're both the same. I don't know why everybody thinks I'm conservative. They're all the same. So, yeah. I know that as we rip off some laps here at Charlotte.
I'm glad I don't know how to cook very well.
Yeah, good. Probably good for your health.
Meanwhile, kind of here towards the tail end of the field, you had the 81 of Torcha and the 17 of Frank Ranger having a good battle out here. Trying to slowly make their way back up through the field. You also got that 34 Jesse Calloway. Man, he's been having a really good fight with the 16 and Nick Gardner here for the last 15 laps or so, ever since this thing got started. Now the 44 David Wright starting to get his name into the mix here a little bit as well. 39 Josh Freed trying to filter on through on that bottom side as well. Meanwhile, the 88 of Zach Staten's going side by side with that 4 of Eric Stoy.
Yeah, Stoy saw an opportunity there and stuck his nose down in there. He thought he could make the pass. He's hanging with him. It's really hard to make that pass here. And it looks like the 88 has help from his teammate, the 42, Kevin Winker there. So that's going to make it all the more difficult for Eric Stoy to make that pass. But they may be able to use a pick up here. Oh, now the 42 goes with Stoy. So I don't know what's going on here with the teammates. Maybe able to maybe trying to control both lines here, putting that above the priority of maintaining track position with some of these other teams.
Well, we definitely see them. The Team America loves controlling both lines, and I think maybe that's their goal at the end of this thing. But I'm really concerned. Earl Evans says I hadn't jinxed anyone yet. I haven't. What do you mean? I never jinx anyone. There's no jinxing.
Well, I don't know. I think when you lived down around I-10, you were into the voodoo stuff, I think.
Well, I did dip in.
Right.
I dipped in down there to Lake Charles all the time.
Yeah.
I saw my favorite, she wasn't Marie Laveau, but something similar.
Yeah.
You have to. You're
The
in there.
the black arts, the black magic.
Yeah.
You gotta stay away from that stuff, man.
As we can see there down the back straightaway, the 15, Cody Staten, taking control of second place, and he had a whole line of traffic right behind him trying to pick up that draft, and as he kind of bobbed and weaved a little bit, you can see that top line basically follow his rear bumper and almost had some side-by-side contact there, but the one machine in the 13 going side-by-side here as well. The Mountain Dew Mark Beverly has been having a pretty good race here tonight so far.
Pretty cool paint job on that truck, man. Love Mark Beverly's paint.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
There's a lot of cool ones.
Yeah.
All right. There's a little battle, 3, 4, 5. Nate Cogdale's in it. He's riding high. He's got a couple guys down low. Just watch them as they, proceed through the track, because I think they're getting a little squirrely. We may see something here. My prediction in turn 4 with this group of cars. Yeah, they spaced themselves out. I look like an idiot again, but that's where we're going to see the action.
Because of that, right?
Yeah, I didn't want that to happen. I just was trying to say.
I mean,
seemed like 22 laps in, Brown, your tires are feeling a little squirrely, right?
A little squirrely, maybe a little snug, depending on what kind of line you plan on running here. As the 42 of Winker sneaks back up inside of this top 5, and in front of that 4, the one machine now. Oof, man, he's really starting to kind of fall backwards a little bit here as the 16 starts to make his way up underneath him. Same thing with the 44 David Wright. So this is where those guys that were maybe a little bit more patient at the beginning and saved up that rubber are going to start to inch their way back up towards the front of the field. The 39 of Josh Freed trying to follow that line, as well as the 88 of Zach Staten. Meanwhile, down there in the pits and been there for a hot minute, 64 Cale Turbeville. I wonder if he had a little bit of an issue down there.
Just watching, I think he had some connection issues. I could be wrong, but he was blinking quite a bit.
Kathy Moore out here pulling for Josh in the number 51. Thank you so much, Kathy Moore, for being here. Josh Moore, of course, leading this race here so far. 0.7 of a second on teammate Cody Staten here. Last time they crossed the line.
That indeed, the 51 machine trying to filter his way on through these playoffs. So, while we actually have a second, how about we talk about what that playoff kind of looks like here tonight, and your 10 drivers moving on and where they stand. Mark Beverly, I believe he ends up winning the regular season. And he's going to get a little bit of some bonus points for that, followed by Cale Turbeville, Nick Gardner, Kevin Winker still up there and in fighting shape, Zach Staten, Jesse Calloway, Josh Moore, Nate Cogdale, David Wright, and Eric Stoy rounds out that battle. And of course, those are all the points for everybody. Pretty much 20 points from first to 10th there, kind of separating the field a little bit.
A good playoff session here for HCK.
Ooh, the 44, David Wright and Nick Gardner, super close right now.
Woo-wee! You ain't kidding. There's some right side romance going on there between the 44 in that 16 as they headed out down through the quad oval. Not really being able to put a piece of paper between those two trucks, even if you wanted to.
They ain't worried about no net code.
No. Well, we've seen some crazy netcode in the past couple weeks.
Dude, it's been nuts.
Oh,
Oh, the 44's around.
There it is.
Yellow is out.
That's going to bring out, that caution. Getting a little turnt and learnt down there. Let's go ahead and...
Oh, they're arguing.
Go ahead and take a look here from the chopper camera. And it's... Well, the tape never lies. Let's go ahead and kind of see what happens here. And Oh, man, it was close. I think maybe just a smidge of a bobble on the 44 came up and spun himself, I should say, across the front bumper there of the 16 machine.
Well, they look like they were occupying the same piece of territory, were they not?
That's pretty much it.
They can go back and look at the replay, but it almost looked like the 44 was going up. 16 might have been moving down just a touch.
Oh, yeah.
Just a touch.
I think it's almost a case of 44 might have turned across the 16's nose. They can go back and look at the replay and...
Well, you know what? I disagree. But I do think the 16...
You usually do.
16 probably could have lifted just a touch because he was headed...
He doesn't have to lift.
Why doesn't he? You got to control the front of your car. You know, they just weren't giving any ground. You know?
No, and that's the point I was going to say is with how close those guys were racing. I mean, it's one of those things where a tiny mistake, and you know, these are just your average Joes. We almost had some contact coming out of the pits between the 13 and 39. It looked like the 13 forgot to turn back to the left to get that thing out of pit lane.
Yeah, Josh Freed was kind of panicking there, trying to keep it where he wasn't going to get in the way there.
But when you race that close, it just you cannot make any mistakes. You have to be like exact to the inch on your marks there, and it just kind of looked like maybe both guys, both made that 1 inch mistake.
Weird thing here tonight too. If you guys haven't noticed, the 39 of Josh Freed, the only Toyota out here tonight, and Jay Burton, the only Ford in the number 26. Every other truck is Chevrolet.
That's strange.
Which means there were so many recall notices going out for all these owners of these bow tie trucks. And I mean, I feel bad for the Postal Service having to deliver all these,
Deliver what?
These recall notices.
It keeps me busy.
I knew you were going to say something. Hey, listen.
It's good fun.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I like this crash here because I really think
you like the crash.
Yeah, because I think both of them are hard-headed. Both of them just wouldn't give up. You wouldn't give any ground, and they're still arguing about it. Yeah, no, they're
yeah, they are still.
They're getting after it, and here's the problem, though. You have zero fast repair. They just need to watch the replay, and maybe they can see it from a different angle. Not really sure, but I like the fighting. Hey, this is y'all get out into the pits, and we'll just start fighting, and then y'all get back in the trucks and finish this race.
Take your helmet off. Don't do like what did Boyer do that one time? He got out and kept his helmet on and started punching at.
Yeah, well,
who was it?
That's just being smart. That way you protect yourself, and then you beat the tar out of somebody else.
Now it's like hockey. There's an unwritten set of rules to it.
Right.
You got to take off all the stuff.
It's etiquette.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
If you're gonna pull the guy's jersey over his head, make sure you get it all the way over. Don't keep him in the dark.
I like when they're throwing the elbow pads off and the gloves off. They just make a big spectacle out of everything. It's so amazing.
It's dramatic.
I love it. Yeah, it is dramatic.
Leading up to the fight, you're about ready to see something,
Yeah.
Well, what I'm more impressed about, right? Those hockey gloves, man, they just like slide off their hands. It just comes right off. You ever try to take off a pair of, work gloves or something when your hands are sweaty? It takes like 10 minutes to get them peeled off.
One finger at a time.
Ask OJ about that. I mean, this thing doesn't come off. The glove does not like to come off your hand. Just ask him. He did it on video in the mid-'90s. I don't know if y'all saw that. But, yeah. Ask OJ about gloves.
Oh, I'm dead, dude. That was good.
But Brown, yeah, dude, I love how they just fling those gloves and elbow pads and everything. They just start bashing each other in the face. That's amazing. Love that.
Fans in the front row getting some free chiclets.
Yeah, for sure. Getting more than they bargained for.
Well, as we talk about these fantastic fans here at Charlotte tonight, they're going to get some more action underway here. So pace car peels on off down onto pit road. The 51 Joshua Moore and the 15 Cody Staten get things all lined on up. Looks like pretty much everybody getting some fresh set of tires and right back out there onto the track. But I think the 39 Joshua Freed, he only took 2 tires on that last stop. So we'll see how things pan out. Maybe even just taking fuel, because I know fuel can sometimes take a little while. But nonetheless, we are back off and running with that 51 out in front. Oh no, the 42 is starting to go around. Oh
yeah,
my
it's
goodness.
straightened out.
Green flag still out. Kevin Winker ain't happy there, I don't think.
Now let's
No.
kind of see what happens. He kind of got spun around near that 4 machine, and oh man, how that didn't become a bigger wreck, I do not know. But some great avoidance maneuvers there, and a great save from Kevin Winker from keeping that thing completely from going around. But
Great save by Josh Freed too. I think that was the other truck involved there.
I believe you're right. Unfortunately, though, that's also going to kind of separate the pack just a little bit. So your top 3 of Josh Moore, Staten, and Beverly are about almost 2 seconds clear of everybody else. Meanwhile, it's a dogfight back here. You got Eric Stoy trying to stay out in front of Nate Cogdale. You got Nick Gardner almost going side by side with Jesse Calloway here again. You got just a whole bunch of action going on.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff happening at the moment.
Ryan Peterson joining us out there on the YouTube chat. Pulling for Herbert in the 87.
Yeah.
Ridge Power Sports machine. And then Joe Moore, liked your OJ comment. I did as well.
Well, behind the backstory behind that, they knew that was coming, and they made him wear the rubber gloves, which was another issue, and then they pumped him full of salt the night before in his jail cell, so he swelled up. It's a whole bunch of crazy stuff that happened with that OJ thing. Obviously, besides him murdering 2 people, there was plenty of other crazy stuff going on in that courtroom.
Yeah, they do say that the Heisman Trophy is, I think it was Norm Macdonald when he was hosting the ESPY said, that's something they can never take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And of course, it's all alleged, we can't just say that happened.
I'm just quoting an awards show.
Yeah.
Of course, here as we continue to race with that green flag flying. Nick Gardner still trying to stay out in front of the 1 and the 88 here, who are going side by side once again. Meanwhile, Cody Staten getting locked back up to the back bumper of his teammate there, Joshua Moore in the 51 for that lead. The 13 Mark Beverly up there as well, and Eric Stoy has caught up with them here as the 15 and 13 go side by side.
Yeah, welcome DW. DW's joining us over there in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Good to see the one-legged wonder. They're
Do
joining
you think
us.
he has any connection to somebody like in the White House? If they're trying to take him out with forklifts and stuff.
Forklifts and stuff? Yeah.
That
Well,
could be a problem.
it's not the preferred.
Don't go near the water.
It's not the
TW, stay
preferred.
away from that.
Don't go near the water. Don't take up culinary school and expect to work for a politician.
He may know too much. I don't know. I'm just concerned for everybody out there right now. That the big state that starts with the deep is coming to get you.
I just hope that his buddy Doug is watching out for him. And they're watching each other's backs because I don't know if you guys know Doug. He does live in Canada.
No.
And So he's got his ear to the ground as far as what's going on up there in our neighbor to the north. Oh.
Doug McKenzie? What a race here,
Well,
Brown.
close
4,
enough.
5, and 6.
Well, 4, 5, and 6, and also for the lead as a 13. Mark Beverly was trying to make a lunge at that lead here and attack that 51 machine. Not quite able to get it to stick. And then right behind them, you got Stoy and Staten going side by side here once again, battling for one of these podium positions. And meanwhile, all this battling's going on. They've opened up that lead even more. Almost 4 seconds now. Meanwhile, the 34 still going side by side with the 16. Man, these guys have been side by side for basically the entire race so far. Just just having an absolutely good time down there.
Yeah, they're making it fun, man. This race has really turned out to be a good one here.
Yeah.
As far as all the side by side action we're seeing.
They're tearing up those tires, though, so pay attention to that. And really, who is Doug? That's what I'm concerned about. I only know Doug McKenzie and Bob McKenzie from Canada. Those are the only Dougs from Canada.
Well, Doug's the co-owner of Num Thumbs Gaming over there.
Oh, does he have to pay extra taxes because he's in Canada or what?
You remember when we played? What was the zombie game?
DayZ, the weird
DayZ, yeah, remember?
Yeah.
Doug was on.
Yeah, where he was trying to kill you around every corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Trying to shoot each other.
Yeah, that was fun. Good times can be had on the interwebs. Check out Num Thumbs Gaming for all the gaming stuff. Can't you join like their little groups, and they have all kinds of battles, and
Sure.
from car racing to truck driving to killing people on the internet, virtually.
And farming. And
farming simulators.
And flight sim. I don't know what else they.
Yeah, they got everything. Check them out. All you got to do is use your Googler.
Pac-Man.
Sure.
Pong.
PGA 2K.
Space
They got that
Invaders.
too.
Oh yeah, that's right. PGA.
They have golf. And I think they got a baseball deal going.
I think that one kind of fell apart.
Why? Baseball's fun.
They need to put the show on PC. I'd play it every day.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Love the show, man.
Meanwhile, here up at the front once again, the 13 trying to make that pass happen here on the 51, but made just that outside line getting a really good run out of these corners, and the 13 not building up enough of that momentum to get the pass to happen here.
Gardner leading this second little pack here in front of the one machine.
You want to see something
Go
cool too? Go to HCKBeaglesRacingLeague.com. They have driver bios. They got all the information about the sponsors. Stuff like that. TrackDogsRacing.com. I think they're the official merchandiser of this league. I think they're the official merchandiser of AAA Broadcasting as well. So that's kind of cool.
Derek said they're thinking about doing Donkey Kong. I'm not sure any of us have the ancient apparatus to run that game, but man, it'd be kind of cool.
I like to go forward, not backward. Kind of like you and your VCR commentary last night.
Oh my goodness, are we back on that again?
Well, you brought it up. I mean,
We didn't have one.
you can't buy a VCR at a business anymore. You can buy it at a flea market, but they don't come new in packages where you can just go to Walmart and pick up.
We got one at an estate sale.
Yeah, you can do that.
Sure.
Brown, how many VCRs you got in your house right now?
2.
See? Brown owns like a vintage home. I kind of like your style, Brown. When you having us up for a picnic or anything, I'd like to head up there and check out all the wildlife in New Hampshire. New Hampshire.
Come up.
New Hampshire.
I would suggest.
Shire.
I would suggest coming up before December.
Yes, that's a Good point. I want some of the lobster and all that stuff. Y'all
Oh,
have
you
up there.
then
So
you
cool.
you better hurry up, man. That season's ending soon.
It's almost over. Dang it. You know what season isn't ending just yet? This one, still a decent race. They're kind of running through the, gamut here. There's a couple too wide. I need to locate that, but pretty fun.
Watch out for Turner because he's going to be like Kramer in that episode where they went up to the, they went up the coast and he started stealing lobsters out of traps. He's like, "Oh, here's a rope," and he pulls it in. So watch out for that guy. Yeah.
No, I
I'm
know
talking
people
about
are
you.
crazy. I've been in plenty of marshes where they got the crawfish traps all over the place, and I've never taken
Well,
one
it's a
because I
serious
know.
offense.
Yes, I'm afraid of the Cajun with the shotgun flying out of nowhere with his, fancy boat that he, put together in his garage and taking my life. So no, I respect people's stuff. I'm not some kind of thief.
Well, I'm just saying, if you go up north, you need to be on the lookout and realize that that's not cool.
Well, if I go up
It's-
north, I'm going to be on the
it's
lookout
those
anyway.
Lobsters.
I think if I go past a certain line, I may, end up unalive somehow.
You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere.
I know I have to stay here. I'm a little worried for my life of all the things I've said about the C plus the A with the middle I. I got to be careful.
I mean, you literally just spelled it, I think.
Yeah, but I spelled it where it's not going to pick it up on the algorithm thing that Zuckerberg built.
Sure will.
No.
As 16 making his way past the 34 here. We're starting to get into that zone once again where the tire wear is starting to affect these drivers just a little bit as the one machine as well filters on past the 34 of Jesse Calloway. Oh, up into that outside wall, a little beating and banging down there as the 88 tries to avoid some of that carnage and sneaks down to the bottom side, trying to pick up a couple more spots here as well.
Man. No, don't. English, don't put those three
No,
letters
don't.
together.
What are you
The
talking
three
about?
letters together. Don't never do that. That goes into the algorithm.
Yeah, all of a sudden Turner says, you don't say that.
Well, you can't put it on paper. Now they have it in their little
It's not
system.
paper. It's
It's a digital form.
YouTube chat. It's not recorded.
It's picked up by the people. And Evans, Earl, I do not steal people's traps. That's one thing I don't do.
Yeah.
I'm not a thief. I
Never do that.
respect people's crab traps or crawfish traps or lobster, whatever the hell you're trapping.
Nutria.
I do ground trapping, I used to trap all kinds of crazy stuff. Fur trapping, that's what they call it.
We need to get together and do a nutria stew because I know there's a lot of good recipes out there.
Are they greasy as like when you do a raccoon gumbo?
It's a giant rat. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it swims.
It is what it is.
It's got a talent. I mean, it swims.
Sure.
Looks more like a big fat squirrel, which is also a rat.
Or a beaver with a really ratty looking tail. That's kind of what I always think about them.
Cogdale just passed Nick Gardner
That's
for
good
the
clean
fourth
pass
position.
right
And that he did.
Or fifth, I'm sorry.
As everybody last pitted here on lap 28, so we're getting close to about 30 laps here on this run. What do you think these guys are going to be able to do for fuel here, fellas? As they're probably starting to get a little close to that time, I think.
75% fuel tonight, so take that into effect with your big brain. Most of these guys, lap 28 was their last pit. We're now coming up on 60 shortly.
Full fuel. I think full fuel and
When?
full tires.
10?
Full stop.
Yeah, but when? Obviously you're going to get full fuel. Well, that's the dumbest answer I ever heard. When is it happening? That's what we need
You
to
didn't
know.
say when, did you? Is that what you said?
Yes, that's what Brown just asked us.
Cool.
I don't know.
That's terrible. Let me
Lap
see.
70. Lap 70.
Yeah, I think somewhere in the ballpark of that might be okay.
They're splitting this thing into thirds, which I don't think anybody's able to do. Hitting at lap 28.
Well, they took advantage of that caution. That's why they did that.
Yeah, the short fuel window here. What did you say, 65%?
Hey,
70,
Derek Welch is
35.
helping us out. You can do 30 to 35 laps with 75% fuel here. I trust him. He does a lot of racing. So,
They might not make it to halfway.
yeah, I think we're looking at... Yeah, a few more laps. We should be coming in then.
Yeah, they're not going to make it to 70.
Wow. Earl Evans says he can make us a possum stew.
So my aunt, my great aunt, my grandma's sister,
Yeah.
would cook anything that her nephews would bring her. And that was one of them. She'd cook possum, raccoon.
Possum
Matter
are
what it
fairly
was.
easy to get a hold of, you know. Just head out to your trash can and hit them with a 22 short. No problem.
Hit with a 22 short. Nobody uses 22 short.
I do. You don't use 22
Ooh,
shorts?
64 Turboville up into the outside wall, letting traffic by down there.
That's close.
If you don't use something that uses 22 long rifle, I mean... I don't know.
Well, I mean, yes, you should if you're really doing something, but like I used to shoot turtles off a pond, so I didn't like to get all that velocity. And, you know,
It's
maybe
a
have a
22.
skip.
There's not that much
Yeah, there is.
velocity coming up. It's not
Just get the
2,000
shorty.
second.
Oh my gosh.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I've killed 5 billion turtles. I know what I'm talking about. All right.
Turtle killer.
HCK Beagles Racing League. Goal was 35 laps, tire changes. So, all right. So, we should be coming up on 35 laps right around in here. I don't know how we get off on these weird tangents. I
I don't know.
feel
I
like
don't know
sometimes...
why'd you kill so many turtles, man? They're just...
No, they hurt the fish. When you want to fish in your pond, they're overpopulated.
Did you eat the turtles?
No,
Well,
no,
then
most
what
of
the hell
them.
did you kill them for? You can eat turtles, man.
I didn't
Sauce
wanna eat
pecan.
them. Yeah,
Just
that's fine.
Google.
Ooh, crazy.
Pecan. You can get a good
Or-
recipe. Oh, contact between the 88 and the 4.
Yeah, put them in the grass.
How the 84 was able to hang on to it, I do not know, but that fight's just going to continue to heat on up as here comes the 4 back with another attack down on the inside lane.
Yeah.
Go frogging with you there,
Man, I grew up frog gigging.
Earl. Yeah.
Frog gigging was a thing. Every summer we'd do like a all-nighter, you know. And come home with a bunch of frogs. And, empty beer cans and whatnot. Good time. Back when you had to have that giant spotlight on your head and you had to have the giant battery on your hip. You remember those days?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kathy Moore says her 16-year-old son caught a snapping turtle and made some turtle stew, and it was delicious. Those alligator snapping turtles, man, that's some good eating.
Yeah, those are the ones you're supposed to eat. So that's cool.
Derek Welch says, turtles? What is this, China? Oh, man, it's Louisiana.
South. Yeah, he's down in the south.
Yeah,
Ooh, all right. Everybody's talking about pitting here, Brown. This is where we're going to start seeing it. Now, you got to whoa that thing down to 45 miles an hour to get into pits, so we'll see how that works out.
And Jesse Calloway, I think, hearing all the calls out saying, I'm going to go a little bit early here, make sure I get myself some free space down on pit road. Looks like Jay Burton, Jonathan Herbert, Cale Turville all following him down as well. Meanwhile, Mark Beverly, who just taken over control of the race lead out in front of the 51 here, is going to look like he's going to come on down and dive on into Joshua Free Machine. Stays on out to do a couple more laps. Little squiggly coming on down into the pit lane there, but able to get it all locked down and in. Same thing with Cogdale, Zach Staten, Nick Gardner, Eric Stoy, all making their way on down as well. Meanwhile, 81 Brian Torcha electing to stay out one more lap. Again, maybe seeing all the chaos down there, deciding, nah, let's do another one. And just to get some of that free space here again as well.
Yeah, when you're pitting under green like this, it's important to hit your box and get the hell out of there as soon as you can and not make a mistake. Everything is track position here.
Meanwhile, with a great pit stop there, the 13 of Mark Beverly able to get out quickly and in front of Joshua Moore, even having a little bit of breathing room there behind him, about a second. So a great job there for the Beverly pit team. You then got Moore and Staten, who are probably going to tag team back on up here and maybe help each other out with a little draft work to try to catch back on up to that 13.
That's interesting how this race has played itself out.
Yeah.
Are we going to see any blending problems during this exchange? It doesn't look like it, huh?
I don't think we have enough trucks on the track to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't think
like
so
we
either.
would.
Well, not only that, but I mean, normally whenever we see green flag pit stops, we see it's like maybe 2 people here, 2 people there, 2 people there. But this time for the most part, everybody hit their pit boxes within 3 laps or so of each other. So everyone for the most part able to just kind of do what they got to do and get back out there on the track. Meanwhile, the 16 and the 34, imagine that, right back to being nose to tail here after their pit stops, continuing their fantastic race that they've got going on here tonight.
I got a fantastic comment. I think we might have missed this one because somebody else read it. America's driver, Albert Anderson, says, does anyone know if you can buy a Sony Walkman at Menards? That's from last night. You don't like that, English?
I had missed that until I looked down and I saw him.
You missed it on
post
purpose.
like, what is he talking about? And I had to scroll up.
You just didn't want to admit that you're.
Well, I was focused on the food comments, and then I missed that one.
No, that was actually funny, Albert. That was good.
That was good.
Brad, you missed that last night. English went ahead and we were talking about Menards, which none of us have. I've never been to anyway. He claims you could get like grapes, lettuce, 2x4s, and a VCR at Menards. About lost my mind when he mentioned the VCR stuff.
Well, that's dated information, but I'm sure back in the day you could have, but
sure.
Oh man,
35 years ago.
I gotta I'll have to look something up here and tell you exactly what it is, but it'll blow your mind for that one.
But we like that. We need new information in our old brains. It always helps.
They also have a version of Tractor Supply up there, and I can't remember what it's called.
Bomb guards?
No.
Bomb gardeners?
I don't remember what it's called. In North Dakota, there's a version of Tractor Supply where you can go buy a log splitter, and you can buy barbed wire. But then they also have like home decor stuff. Like if you want a nice little bench.
That's what
to
that
go in
is.
your room.
So we have Orchland here, but it got bought out by Bomb Guards, and I think that's what you're talking about, or something like that. Is it a green and yellow logo?
Well, it looks like it actually looks like a Tractor Supply. Hold on a second, I'll let you.
But they got bought out by Tractor Supply, which bought
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's complicated in the farm and ranch game. I can assure you that.
Sure.
But they do have everything you're describing, and lots of beef jerky, and that crappy fake Coke stuff.
then they got the little section where you can buy socks and rubber boots. And
You can buy everything. Clothes in there.
Huh.
Fans, plumbing. I guess we have like a mini Menards here. You just can't get like fresh foods.
isn't that a shame?
Yeah. I whole like live chickens and rabbits. All that stuff.
And so that's what it is. So you ready for this one, Turner?
Yeah.
So my grandfather, way back in the day, after he served World War II and all that, worked for Raytheon, who during that time was working on stuff for the Apollo missions.
Yeah.
So I do have in my possession some 35mm film that has one of the rocket launches on it.
Oh, that's super cool.
Oh, sweet. Got to get that converted.
I do have it converted somewhere to VCR.
Just the launch, though, right? Because you don't
just
have
launch,
the
yeah.
moon landing because that was fake. That was all done in Hollywood.
My grandfather wasn't up on the moon, man. He was here on Earth.
Yeah, I know. What I'm just saying, maybe
Hey,
he got a
jackass.
hold of it. Maybe he got a hold of it somehow. People obtain stuff all the time. But that is cool.
Well,
That
obtain
he's got
things.
super. You got to get that though, Brown, for sure.
No, it's on VCR. It's good.
Well, get it digitized.
Now I gotta find the VHS tape.
Sure.
Well, I just find the reel to reel. Convert it. Man, it feels like we're almost in podcast mode tonight, just because
I know.
the way this race has kind of stretched itself out. I mean, I'm sorry if your favorite drivers out there. We can go through them all real quick. But just kind of, struggling through it.
And okay, D-Dub, we'll talk to you later there, buddy. I should have some time either tomorrow or Thursday or something. As this race closes in, final 60 laps here tonight at Charlotte, as the current field leader, the 13 of Mark Beverly, is out in front by about 2.5 seconds over Joshua Moore and Cody Staten. You got Nate Cogdale back there in fourth as well. Nick Gardner, Zach Staten, and Jesse Calloway all fighting for some good top 10 spots, but otherwise the field's starting to spread out just a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of time to spread out for just a quick second and get things all going here. Just making sure I got the right stuff all selected, which I do. So we're gonna step away for about a minute, and when we come back, we'll have the remainder of this race here tonight from Charlotte. And welcome back. The race in action continues here at Charlotte this evening. Zach Staten trying to chase down that 16 machine of Nick Gardner. Trying to hunt down and get a good spot here tonight. Kevin Winker as well, trying to get his name back up there kind of towards the top of that leaderboard. Again, he's racing with his driver cam on up as well. Racing on that big flat screen he's got in front of him, trying to get whatever visuals he can out there. But yeah, he's having a little bit of a drive on his own. He's really got no one around him right now as he tries to chase down that 81 of Brian Torcha, who is having a pretty solid race here tonight. Up 7 on the day, the Hudson, New York native. You also got, I mean, that battle between the 88 and the 16, really some of the closest action out there is, oh, the Forberg-Stoy cutting a little bit of a corner there, heading on down into the quad oval. And you can take a little bits and pieces of that grass, but you don't know how it may upset that car as you continue to follow on through. Meanwhile, the 15 and the 51, the inverses trying to get back up and together here, but Cody Staten falling off the pace just a little bit, and the 51 of Moore continues to pull away, which is good because he's starting to pull away, but also get pulled back to the 13 of Mark Beverly, who's out in front by about a second and a half, and yeah, that's pretty much everything to talk about here for the time being.
Oh, there's other stuff to talk about, I'm sure. I've never been to Charlotte. Seems like a cool place to go watch a race. Man, I don't know. I've never been to Bojangles either. They say that place is good.
Yeah, well, we don't have no Bojangles, so I couldn't tell you.
Y'all was right. Tractor Supply did buy out that store I was talking about.
And what's it called? What was the store?
I don't know. It's called Tractor Supply now.
Oh.
I can't remember the old name of it. I was looking at Kroll's Diner. That's where to go eat. In Minot, North Dakota, there's a place called Kroll's.
Did they even have any spice up there? I bet they just had barely any salt on everything.
Very bland food. This is how they cook food up there. It's very, very bland. But
Yeah.
Kroll's, you can go in there and get homemade milkshakes and all kinds of stuff. It's like like you see an old diner, like old stainless steel, building and all that.
It's historical type place.
Until I saw this really, really sweaty lady carrying a bunch of plates, and she was like carrying them pressed against herself, and I don't think we're gonna eat here anymore.
There's probably extra salt. What's wrong with that?
Jeez, man.
A little more seasoning. God. Sounds like a great place. If she had had a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, that'd even have been better.
I can't remember. It's been a while. That may have been the case. Mark Beverly continues to lead this race here. About a little over a second ahead, second place here. Joshua Moore in the 50.
Yeah. But this race is much longer than we expected. HCK Beagles Racing League posted that. Gregory Turner, I guess his machine's not working. He don't want to race anymore. What's happening?
Well, he just got a new computer. He's got to get it all set back on up. You know how.
That's why. Well, that's why I don't want to get one. I mean, as bad as this one is, I'm afraid.
But you're
technical issues.
But you're also not racing and having to,
I want to race again at some point. I got my rig right here. I'm ready to go. If anybody wants to take me on over at Michigan, except Brown, I know he'll beat me. I'd like to get back into it.
At least another 45 minutes here.
Let's see. No, I don't think we're going to do that long.
Take me a nap. And
Go ahead. We'll dock your pay.
I'm just kidding.
Your pay will be docked. No, it just kind of happened this way where we spread out with a little bit lower amount of cars, but that's fine. See, we need to come up with an incentive for guys to stay, in the playoffs, even though they're not in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What could we do? It's been like that
points all season, and then
yeah. does that really work? I mean,
Well, and you do like a random draw or something every race or something to keep guys coming to it. I don't know. Several different leagues have done different things and have been successful with it.
I don't know, but this is typically
I'm not
something we see
saying
all the
that-
time.
I'm not saying that HCK needs to do what other people are doing. I'm just saying I've seen other things that have worked out.
Well,
Or if they go to a playoff format, you're still going to see losses in car count or truck count in this case. But,
I don't know. This is a tough league.
Short seasons and no playoffs seem to work really well. Like, do like a 1 month season or a 2 month season. I was in a league one time that did a new season every month. They had 4 or 5 races, and then it was a new season. So,
Well, what the hell happens during a 1 month season? I don't understand that.
Points races. I mean, it was pretty intense, dude.
Well, if you are in the back of one race, your whole season's over.
Pretty much, and then guess what? 3 weeks later, you got a new season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, you got 20
Brown,
weeks or something.
I don't think we're going to crown him as the czar of iRacing just yet. These ideas are falling flat.
Different people do
Yeah,
do different things, and that's for them. I mean,
sure. Of course. Ooh, Wall just grabbed the number Burton, number 26.
what language was that?
Oh, he's still kind of stuck up in that wall, man. He really scrubbed some speed off there. Oh, and the 34 gets into the back of him. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Jay Burton can't get out of the way. He's trying to.
And no yellow.
Oh, yellow. We saw bits and pieces of bumper flying off that 34 machine. Yeah, you can see it there in the right-hand wheel well. Ooh, my goodness. Yeah, he's struggling with some... he's got something broken in that suspension. I can see it bobbling as he heads on down the backstretch. He's trying to make his way back down to pit lane. Meanwhile, the 16 machine has a pretty good battle here with the 88.
These trucks may have some extra parts that they don't need. That might be what you're seeing dragging there. They can just cut all that stuff out. Not sure that's necessary to operate that vehicle.
No. You don't need a front end here or back end. As long as the dang thing has an engine purring like a kitten, you'll be fine.
Sure, yeah. Who needs a control arm? All the way
Well, that's a little different, okay? I mean, you might need that.
Well, I mean,
Sheet metal, not so much. I mean, we haven't even... There's no real drafting here. I mean, there can be on the backstretch, I think, but we're so spread out, I don't think it's really
not be a
helping or
factor.
hurting anybody. Yeah. I think what was the cars we raced here on iRacing, the late model cars or something? That was fun at this track.
Late
The
models? I
Arca
don't know.
The ARCA cars,
Oh, street stocks.
the street
So
stocks.
We did street stocks here, and it was like a restrictor plate race because you could run them wide open. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
it
talking
was-
about?
Yeah, that race. That
So
was fun.
drafting was very important here in the street stocks because them things were wrapped out, dude. We were doing what 170 miles an hour in a freaking
But
street stock. which
It
is-
felt like you're doing 300 in that
Yeah.
car. Pretty fun. Oh, somebody's come down. Is that Gardner? Who
That's
who
the
just
one.
came in? Yeah.
That was the one machine of Nate Cogdill.
So I'm guessing money stop Brown, right?
Yeah, we will definitely have one here. We're starting to kind of get close to that 30 lap mark here as everyone last pitted right around lap 68. And speaking of, here comes that 13, Mark Beverly, choosing to come on down. This is going to be a full fuel run to the end as everybody makes their way down to the pits for one final go around. Cody Staten, Zach Staten, Nate Cogdell all jumping on down here as well. 16 Nick Gardner staying out at least one more lap.
Yellow
Ooh,
is
caution.
out.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Jonathan Herbert. He is backwards right there by the entrance to pit lane against the outside wall. Ooh, my goodness. Did this just throw a wrench down into the workings of this machine?
Yeah, that's interesting. He was trying to slow it down to get into the pits. Man. He didn't.
Oh,
Ooh.
44 getting a piece of him there as well. Oh. Yeah, just
Yeah,
trying to get it slowed up, like you said, Turner.
Yeah, David Wright wasn't happy about it, but I mean, honestly, it just the transition from coming down onto that surface as you enter pit lane just threw him off, and he slid right up the track. There's really nothing Jonathan could have done there. It's just unfortunate. I mean, I don't know what English saw.
Well, what I saw.
Yeah.
I saw. It was almost like chaos.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like the decision was made.
Jonathan Herbert will get the EOL, which is probably understandable.
Sure.
David Wright has disconnected.
He got
Yes, well, that was his second big one, Guess there was nothing left. No fast repairs here. I don't. know.
It's if you get involved in something, there's
Yeah.
really no recovery at that point.
Yeah.
But everybody has the same.
Yeah, everybody's on the same
everybody's on
playing
the same
field.
even kill. Yeah.
I tend to prefer as just an observer. At least just one fast repair,
Just one?
Save it. Just one. I don't. No more, no less. I think one is fair. Because
If I put you in the wall, sorry.
Oh,
If I put
wow.
you in the wall in the tunnel turn,
I want to have that in my back pocket.
you can come and take me out. And
Yeah,
then
if you put a Denny
both out.
Hamlin on me at Pocono, which you've already done before Denny Hamlin, we should just
but
call
it
it
was
an
in
Allen
turn
English.
2. It wasn't in.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Potato. It happened.
Sure, yeah, it did
So,
years ago, many years ago.
well, it was a couple, maybe three.
I don't understand why it's still so fresh in your mind.
I had a great paint scheme. My Lone Star beer paint that you created for me. We were twins, man. You had the Lone Star red machine, and I had
Yeah.
the Lone Star blue machine.
Lone Star Light, Lone Star.
Yeah,
Lone
you had
Star?
Lone Star Heavy, I had Lone Star Light, and you destroyed my car at Pocono that you painted.
And you still think that I did
What an
that on-
insult.
I don't understand why you think I still did that on purpose.
Felt like an insult.
Ridiculous.
Oh, well. Look at this thing straighten out and get the rest of the 33 or so laps left in this thing down.
Yeah, it's going to be right around the 30 lap mark once we get back to the green flag here. Going to have Nick Gardner out in front with the 81 of Brian Torch. Again, this kind of threw some things into the mix because, well, it's just how cautions work when there's green flag pit stops happening. Joshua Moore, Mark Beverly are going to have to try to find their way around the traffic here if they want to maintain their leads. And then the 15 of Cody Staten and the 88 of Zach Staten are going to be starting side by side there as well. Josh Freed into the pits trying to get some damage fixed as well. And Cogdell and Winker, don't sleep on Winker, even though he really hasn't made much noise here tonight. Oh boy, He's at least on the lead lap, and he's in it with a chance to win it here.
He's been sandbagging. That's what I think. I think Winker's just been sandbagging. He's just been making people think that he don't know how to race at Charlotte. But he may wind it back up here to school him here in a minute. We're going to find out here once we get restarted. Where are you at there, Turner? Did he take off?
Oh, I had the mute button on. I didn't want y'all to hear, anything I was screaming at, Yeah.
That's weird.
My grass is real high right now. Do I have time to
Yeah,
mow
that's what
real
I was
quick?
asking about. I was asking about your grass.
Yeah.
See,
I didn't hear you.
no, it's all good.
I'm just worried about my grass being so high. Causes problems.
And that it most definitely does. Meanwhile, the lights on the pace car are off, and he dives on down into pit road, which means it's time to head on back to some green flag action here with the final 30 or 31 so laps left to go here in tonight's race at Charlotte. And out with a good start there, the 16 of Nick Gardner just absolutely flying past that 81 of Brian Torch. You got the 51 Joshua Moore filtering on through on that bottom side here as well. Meanwhile, the 13 trying to tuck in a line and pick up the run. He's going to move up to the outside and try to make a pass. Now going back down to the inside. And oh man, looks like 81 was kind of playing a little blocker action there.
89 went 3 wide for a minute. On the 1. What is happening out here? Getting real squirrely.
Ooh, and almost some contact between the 39 and the 17. Oh no! Staten Beverly getting tied on up, bringing out the yellow flag here once again.
That just over racing? What
Oh
happened there?
man, kind of like a situation we saw earlier on.
Was there net code involved? That's what
There was a little bit. There was a little bit.
Oh, yeah. There was a little net code there. Oh man, net code. English is disgusted with the net code.
Absolutely disgusted.
I hate it. Hate netcode. I don't know. That may have happened anyway. I don't know what you guys think.
It could have, but once net code starts, you can't stop it. So
Yeah,
maybe
you can't undo netcode.
yeah, it's I was going to say something that I probably shouldn't have, and I'm glad I held my tongue.
Sure.
That's the problem with netcode. Even if it looked like they were gonna, Burton just got rear-ended by somebody. Even if it looked like they were gonna connect there, you could have still maybe turned the wheel and avoided it if you had the skill to do so. I don't know. Look, I just watch this stuff. I don't know anything about
That's a
racing.
good synopsis.
You're welcome.
I like your interpretation of what happened.
Yeah, I'm better at like pop culture stuff. I don't know why y'all invited me to
mean-
do iRacing stuff.
I mean, I think you have a good perspective on what happens out here, and even if it's very strange and discombobulated and influenced by large amounts of booze. I mean, it's still probably the best expert opinion we can get.
It sounds kind of like the same opinion that comes out of your mouth. Very similar.
There's a good reason for that.
Yeah, this race has been one of those that we're just like kind of crazy, you know? A little different. We're trying to have some fun with it, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then it just keeps going on. We're going to 140 laps here. So we're under 30 to go here. We're going to restart with what? A little over 20?
Yeah, little over 20.
Go.
Yeah.
Brown, how was your day, brother?
Well, went to work, went to bed, came back to work.
Yeah,
that
being
sounds
nocturnal, being a nocturnal person is not easy, is it? I mean, I used to work night shift, and it was not very much fun during the day when people need stuff, and you're like, dude, I'm trying to freaking sleep.
I worked night shift for like 9 years, man. I loved it when I was young, but as I got a little older.
Yeah, when I was 19, 20, 21 years old, I liked it because, you know, I could go to the liquor store at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're like, what are you doing with all this booze? Like, dude, I'm off.
Exactly.
I just left work. It made me feel better.
I used to go after work a night shift. I found a bar in Houston that was open, and it was open at like 7 a.m., you know, so I worked night shift.
Was it a casino?
No, there's not a casino. It was like, it used to be near an old coffee plant, which used to run 24/7, and that's why it was there.
Of course they have coffee. I mean,
Well, the coffee
why wouldn't
plant workers would come in there and drink cold beer, you know, so. And down there near, you know, like the ship channel and stuff, there's bars that open at 7 a.m. And it was kind of fun, you know, you just go in there at 7 a.m., crank up the jukebox, talk to old Beverly, who ran the place. And
I was going to say Betsy, that was pretty close.
Yeah, it was Beverly. She loved, you know, having visitors that early in the morning because normally she was just cleaning up or whatever. It smelled like mothballs and
Winston's.
Yeah, but we would have a good time. It's from about 7 to about 9 a.m., that is. And then we just kind of mosey on home, call it a day. So the night shift was interesting times, man. I kind of miss it. It was fun. At least good memories.
And that indeed. Meanwhile, we get ready to get back going here to the green flag. Will be 25 laps to go. A 25 lap shootout here to finish this one off from Charlotte this evening.
I don't know what you guys think, but we might not be done with the cautions here. Aggression is definitely starting to peak out here.
Yeah, I think it's just a toss-up at this point. We'll see.
And that we will. Pace car dives on down into pit road. 16:51. 81 and 88, all side by side. Everybody up and ready and going. Here we go. The 16 out like a cannon, breaking free very quickly of the main pack. The 51 trying to follow suit with the 81 now trying to shuffle on down low here as well. The 39 Josh Freed doing the same thing, picking and choosing his lanes very carefully here as well. 13 Beverly, who was just involved in that incident, trying to fight his way back up through some of this crowd as well. The 1 of Nate Cogdell and the 42 of Kevin Winker up inside of there as well.
Nick Gardner's got to watch his rear view mirror here as he navigates this course. And going to have to maybe stop some runs here. Maybe throw a couple blocks if he can in that 16 truck.
I don't know. He has pretty much some of the better tires out there. Sitting in a good position right now. Frank Ranger is in 9th. He's somebody's about to overtake him or try to.
Johnny Herbert.
Yeah, is that Herbert there?
Yeah, they're battling for the lucky dog position. Both drivers 1 lap down here. So just in case we do get a caution, Ranger and Herbert fight for the lucky dog.
And I mean, it does matter. And it looks like the 87 of Herbert getting that position for now. Meanwhile, the 51 is caught back on up to the 16 of Nick Gardner here. Almost puts the chrome horn to him there as he breaks on out to the outside lane. Side by side they go as they cross the line, battling for the lead.
Mercy. Things are getting spicy out there.
Are they?
Yeah, 13 looking to the inside of the 88 here. Mark Beverly and Zach Staten going side by side here in this set of turns here. Coming across to the start-finish line. Looks like Mark Beverly with the advantage there, picking up 4th place.
Well, I'm looking at some of these guys' banners. One of them, Staten Boys, the number 88. He's got AAA broadcasting on that Muhleberger Custom Homes paint scheme. It's in where they put all the sponsors in the quarter panel and stuff. That's cool.
No.
Oh my god. Can't even have a real conversation with you tonight. Brown, if this was the one that you would have left to put it on like just most exciting and just call it, this is it. This is what we should do here.
You think so?
This one's been kind of tough, you know. Don't you think?
We're still seeing some great action under the green flag here.
I have 42 passing the 81. Winker trying to stay up inside of this top 10. Maybe even tried to move up the leaderboard even more. Meanwhile, the 51 has taken that lead back over from the 16 of Nick Gardner. 39, Josh Freed still in tow. Freed up 7 spots on the day. Gardner up 9 spots on the day.
Man, let's face it, Winker can't really do any worse. I mean, he's the last truck on the lead lap, so. Nothing?
No, I don't. No.
Sorry, guys.
It's really nothing.
Yeah, he did pass Brian Torchia there in the 81.
Well, look at it this way. Let's pretend like we're in Waco, and it's Saturday night. And these guys, up the top 3 of guys, they each have one, like, 2 of them have a pistol, 1 has a knife, and we have the dice. Ooh, rally train.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win that? You know?
Guy with the 22, man.
Well, not necessarily. You can shoot a man in the face with a 22; it might not kill him.
Oh, here comes Frank Ranger back attacking that 87. Jonathan Herbert slides up down to the inside. So now Frank Ranger back into that lucky dog position until he gets up into the wall in turn number 4, trying to get it back together, almost makes contact. So Herbert maintains that lucky dog spot. There was also a truck behind him that snagged the outside wall there as well.
He damn near had that spot.
I think that was 26 of Jay Burton who snagged that wall as well, missing a little bit of paint from that right side door.
Just to keep you in perspective, J.A. Burton is 10 laps behind the lead lap field here. So,
well, I don't care
they're running.
how many laps you're down. If you're in this race still and you're running, you got to be kind of tired. Yeah, well, kudos to you, but you got to be tired of being in that rig.
Sure.
It's wearing you out physically, emotionally.
Mentally, all those things.
Yeah. It's hard work. 140 laps at Charlotte, that's pretty much almost half a real NASCAR race. Not the 600, but the 500 version. So, they're putting into work tonight.
Can you blame those guys for running the Coke 600 and and just getting out of the car and just collapsing. I mean,
No, that's tough.
can you imagine?
That time of year too, so hot. You know, it's hot in that truck. or
Memorial
car.
Day, isn't that when they run it? Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it's the same as the Indy, right?
Yeah.
What about the guys that have do both? Like I
Like
think Tony
Kurt
Stewart.
Busch. Yeah, Kurt Busch did it 1 year. At
Tony
least 1 year.
Stewart.
He may have done it 2 years.
Yeah,
Tony Stewart did it too.
I think he's done that. Pretty sure.
Talking about 1,100 miles in 1 day.
Not to mention flying to and from
Sure. Yeah.
the tracks and the whole
That's
day.
that's a long plane ride.
You
just
better
to
love racing
get into another car.
or love money. That might be
Yeah.
more of it.
Money and trophies, yeah.
Big payday. Oh, we're almost 10 laps to go, Brown?
Almost got 12 laps to go as they came back down across that line. Joshua Moore out in front of the 16, Nick Gardner. Mark Beverly still trying to hold off the 39 of Josh Freed here to hang on to that podium spot. Zach Staten there, as well as Nate Cogdill and Kevin Winker.
Yeah? Did you hit 100 today too, English? We're hitting hundreds all the time around here.
98, I think we hit today.
Brutal.
With, I don't know what the humidity is here, 60% or something stupid.
Felt like 110 or something.
Yeah, I don't even know. I was indoors, but I work in a brewery, so we had burners going. It was 99 in the brewery.
Why don't you tell the folks at home what a brewery is?
What is a brewery? It's a place that's very hot and humid, even
But
hotter
you're-
and more humider than it is outside.
But you're making people happy because you're making them beer.
Yeah, sure.
So at least you serve a purpose in life.
Sometimes. Yes.
I've had that beer you brewed, and it's really tasty, so I'll give you the kudos for that.
Well, I appreciate that. We didn't make that one today, so you may want to take it back.
Oh, well, that beer is good. The one you gave me. Super good. Speaking of super good, if you want to travel anywhere, you want to travel to Charlotte, you want to travel anywhere around the world, basically, Facebook.com/GC Cruise Travel. George Charles Cruise Travel. That's GC Cruise Travel. Look, this guy is my personal, he kind of gives me some money.
He's your
in the
travel agent.
Yeah, he gives me some deals and tips, but you hit him up and tell him AAA sent you, he might give you the same stuff off, discounts and whatnot. He can get you anywhere. Where do you want to go? You want to fly to the end of the world and just forget about it? He can do it. You want to go to DC and kayak and lose yourself? Feel free. Wherever you want to be.
You want to drown in the Potomac?
Yes.
He's your guy. He's your guy.
But he specializes in cruises, though, and cruises are real cool. And Brown, you've used this guy before. He's awesome, man. He can get you some deals.
Well, that indeed he can, with 6 laps left to go. Nate Cogdell trying to stay out in front of Kevin Winker, but here comes Kevin Winker down the inside, sneaking up into that top 5. Who's got the tires here on the corner exit? I don't know. It's still side by side, heading on down the back straightaway.
Why are you laughing, man?
I think I was. Do you want to drown in the Potomac?
I like to have fun with our sponsors. So, big deal. I don't think anybody really wants to do that.
Sorry,
If you're
lost my
part of it, I have no
Yeah, if
retort
you're an
anymore.
enemy of the state, then
Yes, you may end up being, that may be your
GC
demise.
Cruise Travel is not going to help you in that.
No, they're just going to
You
get
can
you where
use
you need
them
to go.
to get out of that situation.
Costa Rica,
see the- go see the-
non-extraditable place.
Belize? Yeah. Go see the Caribbean. Don't get stuck in a kayak in a pond or in the Potomac or somewhere where it's easily concealable.
Wear your life jackets too, guys.
Always wear a life jacket.
Yeah.
It's life preserver.
Have to.
Water skiing, kayaking.
Well, water skiing is a must. You'd be a fool to not wear one.
In the bathtub, you never know when these operatives make. I mean, you just never know.
Yes, thank you. I kind of agree with you on that. I wear one in my own pool now because I'm so worried about this state of deepness coming to get me. And we're getting close to the end now, Brown.
And that we are 2 laps left to go here. Oh, here comes the 42 of Winker looking down low on the 88 Estate and trying to get some more positions here and get some more points for these playoffs. The 16 Nick Gardner, though, just really falling off the pace. Maybe the tires just got burnt on up out there as the 51 of Joshua Moore comes out of turn number 4, back down and across the line. White flag is waving, and we are bringing this one on home here, folks.
42 and the 88, those are teammates. 42 is trying to make an issue out of this. He might end up taking that position. It's going to be difficult, though. Brian Torcha's right behind him. Wait to see what happens here. This is all for position.
That indeed it is for position. Meanwhile, the one in the 1 position, the 51, picking up the win here tonight at Charlotte, followed by that 16 of Gardner, followed by Beverly, and then it was Zach Staten able to hold off Kevin Winker and Brian Torcha.
Great finish to this thing.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's going to say I'm glad this is over.
Well, I know Bruce Muehlberger is glad that one of the trucks that's running out there, the 51 of Josh Moore,
got the
with
victory.
Muehlberger Custom Homes across the hood of that thing, picked up the win here tonight at Charlotte.
Man. That was a little battle, and it was just a battle to finish the thing for us too. Let's be honest, it was tough. It was a long race, and good job for these guys to finish it out.
And that indeed, some people still trying to finish things on up as the 51 machine celebrates with some victory donuts down there.
Yeah,
cool.
Teammates also celebrating with him as well. See the Jesse Calloway and the 26 of J.A. Burton, kind of with a tussle there on pit lane after the fact. Hey, what, boys? Man, we had one heck of a race here tonight at Charlotte as we wait for the guys to get into the podium chat.
Yeah.
Talk about next week's race.
Where we at?
Let's see.
We're going to North Wilkesboro next week.
Ooh,
That's
short
fun.
track racing.
That's fun.
Love
That'll
that.
be a blast, man. Look forward to that.
Well, if we have a similar truck count too as well, 16, 17, 18 trucks.
That'd be decent there.
Yeah, on a small track like that,
Yeah.
we can get some good green flag racing in, I believe.
That indeed.
Well, we're just waiting for the podium finishers,
Sure.
I'll give you the score of the Astros.
Sure.
versus Rangers.
With our sports
4-1.
update, Mr. Adam Turner.
Yeah, 4-1. Astros versus Rangers in Houston.
How
Astros are up.
Yeah, Battle of the
Damn
Silver
it.
Boot.
how about the Women's World Cup that's going on? What any good scores?
I
there?
don't.
Who
No,
cares?
not worried about that. If anybody that's anti-America, I'm not interested in watching you. You're wearing USA on your jersey, and you want to act like you don't like the USA, then get lost, man. I'm not giving you any money. It's just my opinion. It's not any opinion of AAA Broadcasting by any means.
Man. As we do get some drivers starting to show on up, let's go ahead and talk to tonight's second place finisher, the 16, Mr. Nick Gardner, up 9 positions on the evening to finish here tonight on that second step of that podium, man. Nick, congratulations for that great finish here tonight. Great way to start these playoffs on off. And, man, talk about a great battle you had pretty much all race long. It looked like you and, oh, shoot, who was it? I can't remember who it was now. But you and somebody were going side by side basically the entire time. I think it was the 34 of Callaway.
Yeah, I think so. Man, yeah, I don't even know what to say about this race. This had everything. To finish second, I'll take it. I thought maybe once I was able to stick with the 51 a little bit, maybe I would have something for him. But I mean, I think with the damage from the earlier wreck, I think that hurt me on the straightaways a little bit. So, but I'm not gonna complain. I'll take second place. I honestly did not think I was gonna finish even in the top 5 tonight. The way the race was going, for some reason I struggled. Qualified crappy. And then, yeah, I was gonna pit. I was gonna wait till everyone cycled through and then pit last and hope that maybe the tire wear would, I'd benefit from it. Maybe sneak out a top 5 there at the end. But it worked out. Caution came out right before I was about to pit, and then got to restart first, lead some laps. Like I said, try to hold off the 51. I know my teammate Mark was extremely fast tonight. It would have been fun to see him and Josh battle it out at the end there, but yeah, crazy race.
Yeah, Josh Moore pretty much lights out there out front. Hard to catch him, a second and a third basically behind him. But man, you did one hell of a job. You definitely represented yourself and your team in a great way out there tonight, Nick. And a little bit different animal next week. You guys going to North Wilkesboro for the next playoff race here. What do you think about that track? And you looking forward to it, or are you dreading it like I do with the short tracks?
I think I'm dreading it a little bit. I'm not like the best on short tracks, like I told you guys the last time, or you guys interviewed me. I'm not a short track guy. But North Wilkesboro is different. You kind of have to diamond 1 and 2 a little bit. 3 and 4, just run that yellow line the best you can and get a great run stab off the corner. So, I feel like it's going to be a crazy race. But I still feel like with these these guys battling for the championship, man, they're tough. I mean, this is my first year in this league, and between Josh and Mark and Kevin and Nate, like, I mean, oh my goodness, it's been a hell of a battle so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of these playoffs.
Yeah, well, great job tonight. I'm sure you're ready to get out of that rig, but before you do so, who would you like to give some shout-outs to?
Just to thank Gregory and Kevin and all them for continuing to do a good job with this league. I know I say it every time you guys interview me, but I mean it. It's fun to be a part of this league. So I give a shout out to them. Put a shout out to you guys in the broadcast and HCK Beagles Racing League. I think you guys do an amazing job in the booth. And also I'd like to do a kind of a I'm sorry shout out to the 44 of David. I know we kind of got together. I think it was kind of a racing deal looking at the replay. But either way, last thing I want to do is get involved to somebody. So want to apologize to him. Yeah, hope to talk to you guys again next week.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations going to that 16 machine of Mr. Nick Gardner, picking up the second place finish here tonight, man. Congratulations, and good luck here with the remainder of these playoffs there, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I think we've all been in that situation too, where we kind of messed up, and we go back and look at the replay and realize that, hey man, got to reach out and let the other guy know. So good move.
Oh, yeah. As we get all locked and loaded, we get to interview tonight's race winner in a very rare time. We don't see the 51 machine qualify on pole position, but picks up the race win here tonight. Mr. Joshua Moore trotting away with the victory, getting his playoff run started off very strong here indeed, man. Josh, congratulations. That was a great win, and got a little dicey there at the end. Didn't know what was going to happen with the couple late cautions and whatnot, but you were able to finally pull it on out.
Yeah, I think I need to stop qualifying on pole because both races I've won this year wasn't on pole for those. So, yeah, it was a really fun race tonight. Great racing with Mark. We had a ton of side-by-side battles. He got me on that second run. But overall, great race. Yeah, at the end there, I didn't really know what was happening. I wanted to get the jump on Mark a little bit. So I pit in a lap earlier than him, and caution came in at the right time, I guess, to get me in front of him and right behind the leader. At first, I thought that was going to screw me and I was going to have to be behind everyone, but worked out in my favor. Was able to start right behind Nick, then able to push him ahead, sat behind him a little bit, passed him, and cruised to the win.
Yeah, Bruce sent us a message and said, you're very lucky that you did end up winning because otherwise, you might have pulled the plug on the team. But all kidding aside, I'm just kidding with you. But great win out there tonight. You guys headed to the short track next week. Do you guys and Bruce have a game plan for North Wilkesboro next weekend?
I think our main game plan is just to survive. I know those short tracks can be a bit of a crapshoot, but I'm just gonna hope for a top 5 and stay out of everyone's way there.
Well, awesome job doing that tonight. Who would you like to give some shout-outs to?
Of course, got to thank Bruce Muehlberger. He's in the chat tonight. Got to thank my teammates, Zach, Cody, Kevin. Zach and Cody were they're together tonight. Zach went down to Florida with Cody, so I think that's what you heard over Cody, Zach yelling. And then I gotta thank Mark and Nick for both racing me clean there. Lots of fun racing tonight, and then I've got to thank my parents for watching this, girlfriend for watching this, grandparents, and then of course I got to thank you guys for broadcasting these things.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations heading on out there to that 51 machine for Mr. Joshua Moore, picking up the race win here tonight at Charlotte, man. Congratulations and good luck coming up next week in the rest of these playoffs there, buddy.
All right, thank you.
And with that, that's gonna close out all the interviews and everything. And it was a long one, boys, but we got there. It was a pretty good race at the end.
It wasn't bad, man. We had some pretty cool side-by-side stuff happen all the way to the end there. And Joshua Moore, of course, pulling out in front there and basically putting on a class on how to race here at Charlotte. So that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was long. We got in some crazy fun talk, so hopefully everybody enjoyed it. We were just trying to have a good time and make the race go by. Looking forward to next week.
And that indeed. But until we get to next week, let's go ahead and talk about tonight and where everybody's favorite driver ended up finishing here this evening with the 51 of Joshua Moore, finishing it off with a big time win. The 16 of Nick Gardner picking up a fantastic second place finish here tonight as well. And 13, Mark Beverly, man, he was fighting, and he was able to get up onto that podium here tonight. 88 of Zach Staten as well had a good fight against his teammate, the 42 of Kevin Winker there. They're going to both finish 4th and 5th, all up there inside of that top 5, man. So good job for those guys. 81 Brian Torcha up 10 spots, your hard charger of the race. Finds his way home into 6th. The one of Nate Cogdell has a pretty good run tonight as well, finishing tonight in 7th. 8th will be the 39 Joshua Freed. 17 of Frank Ranger finding himself sneaking his way into that top 10 in 9th, with the 87 of Jonathan Herbert picking up the top 10 here.
15 of Cody Staten will finish in 11th place, 3 laps down. 7 laps down, Kel Turbeville in the 64 machine. 34 truck of Jesse Calloway will finish in 13th after starting there in 12th. Also dropping 1 spot here tonight, J.A. Burton in the 26. He'll finish in 14th place. 15th will be Eric Story in the 4. We saw him battling kind of up front here early, but disappointing finish for Eric tonight in 15th place. 16th will go to David Wright in the 44. 24 of Andrew Hansley, the 4th, tonight's race sponsor. He'll finish in 17th place. And Gregory Turner, Little Rimmer, I don't think he gridded I guess he didn't.
Nah, he's still having some pedal issues down there.
Oh, okay. He might have been doing some race control out there. So, yeah, Great Lake here at HCK, and Gregory Turner is the boss out there. So,
well, indeed, and that will complete the field here tonight from Charlotte. As always, we thank you all for tuning in and watching and having a great time out here with us. And as always, we appreciate you all hanging on out there and all of that. We would highly even appreciate more if you hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and even hit that thumbs up button if you like any of the action that you see out there on the racetrack. Of course, we also have to thank tonight's race sponsor of Hansley Motorsports for sponsoring tonight's race here at Charlotte. Thank you, Andrew, and the Hansley Racing team. Of course, we also have to thank the fantastic partners of Abruzzi Racewear, TrekDogsRacing.com, Chiefland RC Raceway, Sonic Graphic Design, and AdminBoxx for jumping on board here and being a part of the HCK Beagles all season long. Thank you guys for your continued support, because without your support, leagues like the HCK Beagles Racing League couldn't be able to do what they do and put the great racing action that we see week in and week out on store for all y'all. So again, thank you to all the proud sponsors here this evening. And that does it for us here tonight. We will be back in action tomorrow as the Vigilante Racing League takes on D1, the only, the Pocono. Getting ourselves having ourselves a little flashback action, and you best be sure there's probably going to be a few fisticuffs happening up here in the booth as well. So we'll just have to wait and see who gets upset at who here tomorrow night. But until then, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We are signing off.
We gone.
See ya.